So this is another, because there's not enough Zelda theory video, particularly on Majora's Mask, because everyone's got that theory about what is that world, what is that opposite world. Well, to me at least, when the game first came out, I just thought that when he fell into that hole, he went into a mirrored universe. Everything that is good flips to be bad. It seemed like everything that went on in this world, well, Murphy's Law is the most powerful law. If it's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go wrong. Like, nothing ever goes right. Whereas in Hyrule, that's the world where things that were meant to go right, go right. So, likewise, in Termina, everything that's gonna go wrong is gonna go wrong. So, just looking at the map, this is what made me believe this. So, if you look at the map and compare it to that of Hyrule, you'll see the differences. So, just bear with me here. So, Clock Town is a busy, bustling town that's right in the center of the map. Well, okay. What's in the center of the Hyrule map? It was the Lanlan Ranch? It was the ranch where you get the horse. So, there's nobody there. There's just Talon and the Mario Brother wannabes. So, there's nobody there versus a lot of people there. And it, instead of a clock tower, it has a windmill. Then if you look at Woodfall, right? If you look at that, well, okay, that's where Lake Hylia is, but it's also connected to the forest. But instead, the two are kind of merged in a way, because if you think about the forest and Lake Hylia, they are places that are teeming with life. You can find lots of living things, and there's fresh water. It's very clean and very nice. Well, a swamp is poisonous. Not really teeming with life. If life is teeming there, it's trying to kill you, so you probably shouldn't go there. Then, for Death Mountain, which is a volcano, we have Snowhead, a snow-capped mountain. Still a mountain, but instead of hot, it's cold. And then, for the Gerudo Desert, it's the ocean, which is wide and vast. Granted, geologically, not all these things line up, but still, the most damning thing is, if you think about Hyrule Castletown, again, a place very teeming with life, like it's a building culture, it's thriving. Well, the Stone Towers in Ikana Valley, zombies. It's a kingdom that fell. It is a kingdom that did not survive. It gave into the greater evils and it fell apart. The other thing is that in Hyrule, it's the Triforce. So, 3. There's 3 goddesses that represent each portion of the Triforce. Then, in this world, there's 4, giants. They're not necessarily called gods, if I remember correctly, but they're 4 guardians that protect, and they're in the map directions, whatever. But still, instead of an odd number, we have an even number. And with the Triforce, it's very mysterious. People don't know too much about it. It's in a sacred realm. They don't know where it is. Well, people know about these giants. They used to talk to them. They're very in touch. So, that's just, my 2 cents on all the theories. And so if this is opposite, so who's opposite Link? Is it the Skull Kid? No. The Skull Kid's from Hyrule. It's from our world. He's a Hylian, because you don't see any other Skull Kids. If he was there, this particular Skull Kid, that one Skull Kid, he felt like he didn't fit anywhere. He was emo. He found his way to Termina. He found, the Majora's Mask, and he went, into a place where he was begrudgingly accepted, but he was a prankster. People probably didn't mind his pranks because, again, they're used to things going wrong. Well, so again, where does that fit in Link? Well, remember, in Hyrule, there's one chosen hero. He's always the same guy. One. Well, in this world, right, there was no one hero. Everywhere had a hero. So who? So obviously, the untold tale of the butler's child. He was probably the hero for Woodfall, but unfortunately, something bad happened to him that we just don't know about. For, it was Macaw for the Zoras, and it was Darmani? Was that his name? Yeah, Darmani for the Gorons. Each of them had a slight resemblance to a version of Link. Each of them could lend their powers to Link, which that's another interesting thing. It's not even so much that, because I think the Song of Healing, in this case, because remember, everything is a little jumbled up in this world. The Song of Healing was able to merge them together in a way, even though that's not what it's supposed to do, but that's what it did. It made masks. It healed their souls and put them into a new vessel, because their old vessels were no good. Why a mask? Well, why not? This is why Link can tap into their powers and become, and it seems like only those ones does he actually have the power to transform into them. As far as the fierce deity, there's a theory that he is the Link of that world, but instead of being, so let's go with that, but instead of saying that he is the, Link is always the orphan child that, just comes into his heroism. Well, in this world, let's just say that this Link was somebody. He understood all the responsibilities given to him. He wasn't pure or innocent because he was probably around people. And he sought out greater power. Maybe if there was a Triforce in this world, or its equivalent, an item of power, perhaps he took it and then he had to be defeated. Perhaps that's why this world is in such utter chaos, because the hero went bad and they had to seal him away along with Majora's Mask, if Majora's Mask is even part of this world. Some people have said that it's from Hyrule originally, and the clan that made the Fused Shadow is the clan that made Majora's Mask as well. But that's neither here nor there. So, the Fierce Deity's mask represents the Link that went wrong. But that's not to say there's only one. Again, like I said, every hero, just like every area has its own princess, of course. There's the Deku Princess, there's the Naruto, there's even the baby that cries in Snowhead, and the young lady that you help, Pamela, in the Stone Tower with the Guido song. They're all princesses that you help, but in a way, they needed to be saved because they were trying to do, well, the baby was just crying. Naruto was devastated because she lost her children, but still, she was trying to attempt a level of heroism. They weren't kidnapped princesses, they were princesses trying to do something, if you want to call them princesses, that is. But Cafe and Anju, they're a couple. Cafe, I believe, is a Link. He represents a version of Link. Just like the others from the other portions of the map, he too is a Link, and unfortunately, a terrible fate befell him as well. He got turned into a child. He's actually supposed to get with his princess. They're supposed to live happily ever after, but that's not going to happen if he's a child. So that is also another ill fate, because Link, who for the most part, because Link in Ocarina of Time, he goes from child to forced adulthood. Cafe was an adult and got turned into a child forcibly. And he struggles to get back his life the way it was, whereas Link is just like, I still have more things to do. I can't worry about those 7 or more years that I lost, even though they never they're not going to touch on the psychology, but still, that's like. But this is video game logic we're talking about. So yeah, I just think it's a mirrored universe, a shattered glass, if you will. I think that this is a world where Murphy's Law is in full force, and that's all there is to it. I think termina, or whatever, people trying to say, oh, he's dead and you're going through the phases of death. Well, that's probably a theme, but if you look at if you think about it, it's Nintendo. It might be risque of them to have done that, but at the same time, I'm also going to throw out there that if you look at the Fierce Deity one more time, his sword kind of represents the infinity, like he had infinite power. So Link does not seek out power. He embodies courage and goodness. So again, that's what makes me think that this version of Link was one that gave in to greed, gave in to lust for power. And he may have had good intentions in mind, but sometimes overprotection can be a bad thing. So if you have a Zelda theory that you'd like to share, comment below. If you want to check out some of the other things that I do, subscribe, check out the other videos, and down below in the description box, follow me on Facebook, and then maybe you, or even follow me on Twitter, which I'll probably forget to put the link for.